In the glamorous world of Hollywood, it's easy to believe that fame and fortune guarantee a life of happiness and fulfillment. But for Grace Lee Whitney, the reality was far more complicated. After leaving Star Trek, her life took a dark turn as she struggled with addiction, homelessness, and a traumatic assault that nearly claimed her life. But she never lost her faith or determination to overcome her demons and make a difference in the world. Facts First presents The Secret Life of Grace Lee Whitney, Janice Rand from Star Trek. She was fired from Star Trek. In the vast and ever-expanding universe of Star Trek, a select few characters have managed to etch their way into the collective consciousness of generations of fans. Captain Kirk, Spock, and Bones are household names, revered as iconic figures in both sci-fi and television history. But there's another character who, though her screen time was brief, managed to make a lasting impact. Yeoman Janice Rand, played by actress Grace Lee Whitney, was poised to be a major player in the original Star Trek series, but after one season she was unceremoniously written off the show, leaving fans wondering what might have been. Whitney's character was supposed to be an important confidant and love interest for Captain Kirk, a role that had the potential to elevate her to the ranks of her more famous co-stars. But despite initial promises, the actress found her character's screen time consistently cut down as the season progressed, leaving her feeling little more than a side character. Then came the devastating news she was being written off the show entirely, allegedly due to network pressure to free Kirk up from the confines of a single love interest. But Whitney believed there was another, darker reason for her abrupt departure. Just days before she was fired, Whitney was sexually assaulted by an undisclosed studio executive on the set of Star Trek, an experience that left her traumatized and unsure of what the future held. This horrific experience very well could have been the real catalyst for Whitney's firing, but we'll never know for sure. In the years that followed, her life took a series of twists and turns that led her to hell and back. Whitney's early life and career. Born in Ann Arbor, Michigan, Grace Lee Whitney began her career in entertainment as a singer at age 14, performing in Detroit's WJR Radio. Adopted by the Whitney family, they changed her name to Grace Elaine after initially being named Mary Ann Chase. She moved to Chicago later, where she opened for Billie Holiday and Buddy Rich in nightclubs and toured with both the Spike Jones and Fred Waring bands. After her successful debut in Broadway's Top Banana, Whitney joined the Hollywood cast and starred in the 1954 film adaptation. She was also given the leading role of Lucy Brown in the nationwide tour of the Threepenny Opera, taking over from B. Arthur. Whitney's TV career began in 1953 with an appearance on Cowboy G-Men, and she went on to make more than 100 television appearances, including episodes of Gunsmoke, The Untouchables, Batman, and The Outer Limits. She was also a semi-regular on over 80 live television shows during the 50s and 60s, appearing in gag sketches on programs like The Red Skelton Show, The Jimmy Durante Show, and The Ernie Kovacs Show. She played a Vanna-type adornment on the popular daytime show Queen for a Day from 1957 to 58. She had uncredited roles in several films, including House of Wax and The Naked and the Dead, before being cast in the all-women band in Billy Wilder's classic comedy Some Like It Hot in 1959. After establishing herself as a versatile actress capable of shining in a wide variety of roles, Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry cast Whitney as Janice Rand in 1966. Whitney's fall from grace and redemption. Grace Lee Whitney's departure from Star Trek took a heavy toll on the actress, leading her down a dark path of depression, alcoholism, and drug addiction. Her life took a downward spiral, and she eventually found herself homeless and living on Skid Row for several years. Things reached a tragic low when she was sexually assaulted by a group of men and left for dead. But it was in her darkest hour that Whitney found her salvation, thanks to the kindness and compassion of her former co-star Leonard Nimoy. Nimoy, who played beloved character Spock, helped Whitney find the strength to join Alcoholics Anonymous and confront her addiction head-on. She later credited Nimoy with saving her life and giving her a second chance. Whitney's newfound faith also played a pivotal role in her recovery. She found solace and hope in God and became a born-again Christian. This newfound spirituality became a driving force in her life, and she devoted herself to helping others who suffered from addiction and abuse. Through her book, The Longest Trek, My Tour of the Galaxy, Whitney shared her story of recovery and redemption with the world. Gene Roddenberry's Dumbest Mistake. Grace Lee Whitney's departure from the original Star Trek series was a bitter pill to swallow for the actress, who felt her character of Janice Rand had so much more to offer. But it wasn't just Whitney who was disappointed. Even the show's creator, Gene Roddenberry, came to regret the decision to let her go. He later confessed that giving in to network pressure to free Captain Kirk from a single love interest by writing off Janice Rand was, quote, the dumbest mistake he'd ever made. Roddenberry's apology was a testament to the enduring impact of Whitney's character, which had the potential to become a major player in the Star Trek universe. And while Whitney's time on the show was cut short, she remained a beloved figure among fans thanks in part to her appearances in later Star Trek projects. She eventually returned to the Star Trek franchise, appearing in 4 movies and 2 spin-off series, reprising her role as Janice Rand and inspiring fans with her resilience and courage. A woman of many talents and passions. Grace Lee Whitney's talent extended beyond her work on Star Trek, and she continued to make a name for herself in the entertainment industry throughout the 70s and beyond. She appeared in several television shows, including The Bold Ones, Canon, and Heart to Heart. In 1983, she enjoyed a minor role in The Kid with the 200 IQ, a TV film starring Gary Coleman. She also had a passion for music, performing with a number of orchestras and bands in the 60s and 70s, including the Keith Williams Orchestra. She later focused on jazz and pop music, singing with the band Star. Whitney's love for Star Trek also extended to her music career, as she and her second husband, Jack Dale, wrote several songs related to the show. In 1976, they released a record featuring the tracks Disco Trekkin' and Star Child. She also recorded several other Trek-themed songs, including Charlie X, Enemy Within, and USS Enterprise, many of which were later released on cassette tapes. Despite her success in the entertainment industry, Whitney's greatest achievement was her triumph over addiction. She became an advocate for addiction recovery and continued to support others struggling with substance abuse. In 1993, she moved to Coarsegold, California to be closer to her son Jonathan and continued her life-saving fellowship work in Cali's Fresno and Madera counties. Her legacy as a Star Trek cast member endured, and she remained a beloved figure among fans. She frequently attended Star Trek and science fiction fan conventions throughout the 80s and reprised her role as Janice Rand in the fan-made Trek movie Of Gods and Men in 2007. Her final on-screen appearance was in the William Shatner-produced documentary The Captains in 2011. She passed away in 2015 at age 85. Now it's time to hear from you. Do you remember Grace Lee Whitney? Were you a fan of Yeoman Janice Rand? Let us know in the comments section below.